Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this, my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth debate, pre-show and after-show goodness. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below this video. Now, we are joined by Jose JG Soundly Slayer Gonzalez, so let's see if I can get Jose's attention. How you doing, Jose? Can you hear me? Maybe not around.
Yeah, I'm here. I had a bunch of little windows open, had to kill them all.
I thought you were on Arwen's show.
I was checking on the chat, but they're talking like politics and shit like that. I'm not interested in that. For real.
I was going to say, I tuned in specifically to hear you talk about your stuff, and I was like, when are they going to get Jose talking about his stuff? I mean, he showed it at the beginning. You probably didn't see, but at the beginning of his stream, he did present all the footage, or photos, stills rather, that were taken from your video that you sent him on Skype. So he did present all that at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. I checked in just a few minutes ago, and I scrolled back to the chat, and I start typing like troll and let troll, like we're having fun here or whatever. But yeah, no. I told him I might jump in for a few minutes, but I don't know. They're talking politics. They're caught up in there.
I was just trolling the chat because I was like, okay, fine. If this is going to be the subject matter, I'll just.
I understood that. The first message I saw from you, I said, Nathan is just having fun. You know what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Super serious chat. But there we go.
Yeah, you like the little way I put my video on the title and all that shit?
yeah. I was like, yeah, thanks. Did you see that? I did see your comments in there. So Taboo Conspiracy obviously mirrors your video, which is great news.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's a big channel, many subscribers, and yeah, he gave me credit. You know, he put my original link, told people to subscribe, and he did a really good edit. You know, pretty good. I like it.
We just did a side by side, didn't he, with Soundly's footage, and you think that's all it needs. It just needs you to show a train track. People can easily conceptualize a train track. They know what it is and how it works and what it looks like. Poncha Train, yeah, we can show them elevated footage from Flat Earth Perth. I know it's not his footage, but he sort of edited it so we could use it. But that footage from the air doesn't convince people because they're like, well, down at the ground you can see it curving. It's like, all right, so these railway lines, you know, that'll be the answer now.
Exactly, yeah. And they were telling like, oh, how can you prove, you know, like it's 100% straight, or the train track, you claim the train track is straight. I said, dude, what I'm proving is I can replicate Soundly's observations like pretty much anywhere. If I choose the right location, the right spot, I can replicate it. That's it, pretty much.
Here's Taboo's video. Globe supporters have marched in lockstep using this video as proof. Too late. Soundly and his rotten Globe supporters are lying to you by using tricks of a mirage. And I can't read that under the bridge. Being colourblind's a bit of a bummer from time to time. Can we prove... I should really try and keep up with this. Video by Jose JG Gonzalez. Woo, 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 woo. Please subscribe. There's your bendy railway.
Nice, yeah, awesome.
It's got you talking over the top of it though from memory. It's still, you kept your audio, you retained it?
Yeah, he kept some. I was doing some little funny commenting. How am I getting some Poncha Train effect in my nearest train track? Just a few miles away.
Just a few miles away. I love it.
Yeah, the comments on his taboo under his video, they were hilarious. People like, I'm loving your comment or whatever. That was hilarious. I said, yeah, cool. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I put in my about page on YouTube. I like the first thing in the about me. I put, if you like any of my videos, you can use it, you know, freely. You do whatever you want with it, you know. So yeah, cool.
Cool. That's good because, you know, I knew it from the moment you putting out your first stuff with your, no offense to your Canon, but it just wasn't a great camera, but you were still getting good images out of it, which just goes to show it's not necessarily the camera, it's down to the person and what they point it at. And second you got your hands on a P900, I was like, yeah, this won't take long. There'll be some superb stuff coming out. And it's intuition as opposed to right place, right time. So the train track thing, you have no idea what you're going to catch when you turn your camera on and actually point it down those railways. You've got no idea what's going to be the result. It's just the intuition to actually know to try and have a look, and that might be interesting. This might be interesting.
Exactly, that's the whole idea. Yeah, if I see either a very straight, long street or long stretch or something that I know there's something at the end, something far away that I cannot see with my eyes, if I got my camera on me, I'm going to zoom into that fucker and see what I catch, because there are little pieces of gold nuggets everywhere, and we don't know when we're going to catch them.
Presumably you're walking around with a P900 then?
Yeah, yesterday I went to my sister-in-law's house, and she's like, "You ready?" I said, "Hold on, I got to get the jet." And I call it the jet, and the wife like, "Oh my God, you're going to take the camera and you're going to use it?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to take a few pictures of us, and I'm going to just see along the way to see what I'm going to videotape." I didn't use it. I use it just to take pictures of the family, but still, I'll take it everywhere I go. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a certain type of person that does it, and a certain type of person that doesn't. I mean, I know, no offense to either of them, they're both great people, but Bob Nodell and Patricia Steer both had P900s. Now, I'm going to guess that Bob buys a P1000, but he's not out there like you. That's not his place here. Do you know what I mean? It's good that he's got one, and I'm sure he will utilise it and probably has taken some great images with it, but he's not like out day in, day out with his camera. Despite having, the same camera as you, you're going to undoubtedly produce more because you're doing that. And it's the same goes for Patricia. She's got herself a P900, and I'm sure she's taken some glorious images with it, but she's not out and about on the railway track getting up and down on her knees, and who can blame her? That's not her place here either, is it? That's not what she does.
Exactly. Yeah,
but it's definitely what you do. Yeah. Same goes for Antti. It's as much as we take the mickey out of him for his horizons, I know it's gone a bit too far in a way, because I know for a fact that it's really hard to do what Ranty does, even though it's a little bit shaky. It's like, well, he's at full zoom. To even have it steady in the first place is difficult. To be able to extract some stills from this video footage is good enough. That's all you need. So we give him too much grief, I think. Started as a joke.
Yeah, it is. I have with the P900 before even putting my tripod, I said, let me see what I get, and start zooming in. And the more I zoom in, the more shaky. And I lean against the car, against a tree or something, and I just holding it steady. And you can see the camera with the heartbeat as it moves up and down or side by side. It's crazy.
That's what Ranty said yesterday, and I must admit at the time I was like a bit floored when he said it. It's like, well, if you've got a tripod, you're then limited. You can't move up, move down, and move left. Freehand you can. And I thought, well, yeah, I suppose if you can get really good at doing it freehand, you're then in a position where you can just move the camera and grab something that you might not have got, or move it up and down to give you a bit more of a difference in terms of the appearance of the picture based on the angle. All those things you can manipulate on the fly. Whereas if you've got a tripod, you can't.
Yeah, tripod is a beautiful tool. Like, for real, set it up, crank up the zoom. If you got to tweak it up and down a little bit, zoom back out, get it center, zoom in, and when it's locked, then either I zoom back out, to press record, and then zoom back in, because I know the frame is right in the center where I want it. And I can just move either side by side or something, and just let it roll for a few seconds, and yeah, it's awesome.
I told Ranty that some of his observations from Blackpool would really benefit from him, like just turning around and looking back at the stuff in the backdrop, which is like the whole of Blackpool's quite cool. It looks pretty, and it's got cool structures. So when he was calling out Slice Barkane yesterday, I noticed that as he's turned his camera around, he's stayed for a few more seconds on the big Ferris wheel and the tower and things. I was like, cool. So while Sly's getting called out, there's all that cool footage, just nice looking stuff from a good camera, and you're like, wow, it looks really cool.
Beautiful, yeah. And Sly already attacked this Blackpool Rantis, right? Once with Schoenhofer or whatever.
No, so that was looking at Blackpool. That was ages ago. This is a new observation that he's taken with Blackpool behind him. But
Oh, okay, yeah, different point. Yeah, I got it.
yeah, sure. But like I say, the whole turning around to capture Blackpool. So we've seen the like really faded images and them saying this is the roller coaster, this is the mirror ball, etc. Well, that's all well and good, but when you've literally got it behind you, directly behind you, it's worth just turning around and capturing it like right next to it, right? Just see how, just because it looks cool, it looks good on screen.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, like when I went to the ferry, I got into one of those little boats ferry to go to the next little island over here, and I got really close to a lighthouse. I was like, I don't know, a quarter of a mile away, and I got it in my.
Oh, Jose's gone. Mobile droppage. I think what I'll do is I'll queue up his video so that when we actually start live. Where is it? I have to plug in that phone as a third screen. I just can't find stuff quick enough, especially when there's pressure of a show. Hey, Jose.
Yeah, you dropped.
I might start the show with your video. There it is. Got it.
Yeah, if you can, yeah. Yeah, I mean, not too bad for doing it in my little mobile phone. I got a little app to do the intro with the letters, a little bit of music, and not too bad. At least it's not too raw. Just throw a video out there. At least I put some little letters in the beginning.
Right, I'm going to share the show on Facebook and then.
Pretty sure when I get me a computer, I'm gonna do it beautiful. I want to get the couple apps for modeling and all that kind of shit. I like all that stuff.
But what are you? Where are you now? You at work?
I'm off work. You know, I'm home today.
Did you say you're going to jump on the computer?
No. I say I don't have a computer. I haven't had a computer in 5 years.
Okay.
When I get a computer, I could do magic with it. I know I'm gonna download Blender and a bunch of modeling programs and all that kind of video editing stuff, so I can produce better quality. You know.
Cool.
Everything I do is with my phone, and it's not too bad. At least
I've got to be,
take the SD card of the P900. I got a mini SD, so I plug it on my phone, and then I just add the little intro and outro. So not too bad.
That's perfect. I mean, I think given that you are doing it on a phone, if you had the P1000, you'd be screwed because you wouldn't be able to edit it in 4K. So, you know, 1080 exactly, most phones can just about cope with. Unless you've got like $1,000 mobile phone.
Yeah, no, it's not the best.
Yeah, I do loads. I do more editing on my phone than I do on the computer. I bought £100 piece of editing software for the PC, but I also had an iPad and an iPhone, both of which have iMovie pre-installed. And iMovie is just glorious. You can rattle off a movie in a couple of minutes, like literally in absolutely no time, and make it look professional. And I got that from Jeren. So I remember Jeren, he was on a slightly different tangent, so he was being criticised for being too slick. So he literally, I don't know how he did it, but he, you know, shows his iPhone image on his PC editing screen. So he's doing things a lot more sophisticated than I certainly do. But he's showing how on the iPhone you can go through iMovie, create a trailer, and do it in, you know, 5 minutes, and you've got a really slick looking trailer, which is what his first video was. And that was his point. And I was like, okay, so you can rattle off a movie on iMovie in 5 minutes. Okay, well, I've got an iPhone. Let's have a look. Let's see how it's done. And sure enough, you're like, wow, this is dead easy. You know, especially when you compare it to a PC piece of editing software, which is horrendous. I'm sure in the right hands, you can do incredible things with PC software. You know, I've got Pinnacle, and I hate it. I mean, I absolutely hate it. It drives me up the wall every single time I use it. I lose my temper with it. It's just ignorance.
So a lot of fine details, right? You got to deal with the computer, like, so, you know, detailed. In the phone, it's more of a, I don't know, rustic approach, you know, like bulk, but you can get really good stuff, really. iMovie, I never heard of it. I'm going to have to look that up today.
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, it's only available on Apple products, but, you know, it would be forgivable to say, oh, right, you're just ignorant of your Pinnacle editing software, and that would be true. But I'm also ignorant of iMovie, but have rattled off plenty with iMovie. So for me, it's just like, it's no brainer. Even though I've spec'd the PC to be a really good editing workstation, I hardly utilise it. I mean, the benefit of that is that when it streams, it's absolutely silent. None of the fans run because it's over-spec'd for streaming. So it's dead quiet, which is great. But I very rarely, if ever, use the PC for editing. And that's primarily what I designed it for. You know, it's got a really fast graphics card and good CPU and all the, you know, very big SSD, like a terabyte SSD in it. So I can do fast editing. That's what it was designed for. But I just don't use it because it's not quicker by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, it's technically on paper a million times faster at processing all this stuff or rendering it or scrubbing through the video. Yeah, it's brilliant, but it doesn't make any difference if you can't physically produce stuff quick enough on the software that I've got. And I've looked at other software, you know, read reviews on various other editing packages, and you know, there's people out there that literally say, "Can't I just get iMovie on a PC?" And it's like, well, no, obviously not.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have 3-4 hours to sit down through a 5-minute video and edit it 100% by the T in one of those little fancy computer programs, I mean, not everybody got 3 or 4 hours. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it ended up being. You know, I did a trailer for Patricia Steer's channel with a load of edits of all of her, you know, intros. Welcome to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. Welcome to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. Welcome to, you know, just did a whole string of them. It took me days, like literally days to do it. Admittedly, it was the first project I did on that software, like a couple of years ago. But, you know, ever since, I've probably done 3 or 4 things on it and hated every single time I've used it.
Yeah. I was looking at like rent-a-center places in here. I don't know if you got it over there in England. They
What's it called?
rent from furniture and electronics and shit like that.
No,
And I
we
was
don't have
looking
it.
at the computers. They have a few, but the video cards are not the best, and that's kind of what I want, more of a, you know, potential for live streaming and video card and stuff. So I'm
Buy
gonna look in a
second-hand.
different store. If they got a pretty decent computer, I'm gonna just rent it temporarily, maybe for a few months until I find me a good deal that I can buy.
I wouldn't
cash,
buy
you
a
know?
new computer. If you're looking, if you end up, you know, actually wanting to use it, spec it second hand. You know, I'm not saying me, but someone like me will have a PC that's 2 or 3 years old. Ask them what the spec of their PC is, and then try and find those components, or the majority of them, second hand. So I know that the for instance, the graphics card I've got, right, was about £600 or £700 new when it very first came out, and I was keen to get the latest graphics card when I bought my PC because it's something that goes out of date quite quickly. So I wanted to get it when it had just come out, which I did. But now you can buy the same graphics card because the typical customer is a gaming customer who wants to upgrade if they're buying a top-of-the-line graphics card, and they just sell it when it's perfectly good for about a third of the price. And you think, well, you know, my PC's just as capable as it was when I bought it. It's not suddenly out of date, but because there's 2 or 3 generations newer graphics cards out, it's not the flavour of the month and therefore dirt cheap, but it's still just as capable.
Got it, yeah.
Anyway, I better start the show.
Travis?
Hey, Travis.
Hey, what's up?
Sky, moon, the stars, usual stuff.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a crypto and PayPal link in the info box below this video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using stock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now we are joined by Travis, Anthony, Jose, Eric and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Yo, yo.
Hello, hello, hello. What?
Morning, gentlemen.
Good
Nathan,
morning.
what was up with you in the chat today?
So I've got a gripe to get out of the way first and foremost. So I tuned into the early bird show, really excited to see Jose and his absolutely superb puncher train evidence. And I should correct that, puncher train track evidence. But instead, didn't get to hear a word from him. Instead, he came and chatted to me for a bit instead of talking on the early bird. So what gives?
Well, I checked in the early bird a little late, and I was reading on the chat, but I saw you guys were talking about politics and smoking stuff and
Yeah,
stuff that I wasn't really interested. So I just decided to jump in there, Nathan, chat about my pancho train a little bit.
Well, I talked about it really at the start of the hangout, so. But we
I appreciate it. Yeah, I missed the beginning of the show. So.
Morning, guys.
Right.
Hey.
Chocolate. I've got this is actually by Taboo Conspiracy, this particular edit, but as opposed to Jose's where it's just the raw footage with him saying what the hell's going on here, he's actually, you know, compared it and contrasted it to Soundly's footage with it in the corner when he actually brings up Jose's railway line as he does here. Video by Jose Soundley Slayer Gonzalez. Woohoo! Please subscribe. I will check a link to Jose's channel once this video has been streamed and rendered. I'll stick it in the comments so you can subscribe to his channel.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Let's have a listen to what you're saying.
Just a few miles away. Bendy Bridge. What the fuck is going on here?
No swearing. Excellent stuff. So yeah, so that's Jose JG Gonzalez. His absolutely stonking puncher train track footage. And we were chatting before the show. And I was saying it takes a certain type of person to. Obviously, Jose doesn't know he's going to get that when he gets on the train track and starts raising and lowering his camera and all the stuff he's done. It's just having that type of curious mind that sort of drives people like Ranty and Anthony and Jose and various others. Obviously, you as well, Travis. So you've gone on mute. You with the moon as well. You know, it just takes a certain type of person. I'm not that person, but you are, Jose. So kudos to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We have got a negative bit of feedback.
What's that from? Who's that
Apparently, according to Alan B, it's already been debunked. He says, like with the book in the room, and they said about bendy floors. Apparently, it's a bendy bit of railway, and we're stupid.
Everything's bendy, according to Globeheads.
Yeah, dickhead.
They linked me to a video of a train track, and you can see the waviness up and down. But then I hit play in the video, and the train is going like 2 miles away. Like it's not barely moving, just so slow. When I see this train coming, I think I got a video maybe a few weeks ago that I say, oh, I'm late for work and the train is coming. That train is hauling ass. It's going really fast. So, I mean, if that was the bendiness of the bridge, that brain would be derailed any day, every day of the week.
I mean, you don't have to defend this, Jose. It's absolutely preposterous. Their comeback is weak. Very weak.
What do you think? What do you think, Riley, about it? About the video?
I think that they'll just handwave dismiss it, and they'll say that it's not the same for reasons, and then they'll say that we're stupid and that Soundly's praise Soundly. They'll just ignore it.
Yeah, they'll stick their head in the sand. I mean, on that same subject, people like Soundly has been named and shamed in the Geo Whisperer affair, and yet he's still presumably out and about talking about Earth Curve. He's totally discredited. The guy's an outright liar. You know, caught red-handed, basically feeding GeoStreamer information whilst on a hangout with Anthony in the background, and when confronted with it, he just denied it and lied, and then had Sean Hufford back him up and make up more lies on his behalf. So the guy's a cheat. He's a scoundrel. He's out to deceive. This has been proven by us.
Not just that, it's also the fact that he kind of like admitted it like flippantly when he said, hey, that even sounds like he admitted it was him, and then he said, hey, it sounds like it's me that's feeding Riley, not me that's feeding GeoStreamer. And it's like an embedded confession almost.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was an embedded confession where he says, it sounds like I'm actually coaching Anthony. Yeah, you were coaching GeoStreamer, that much is absolutely clear by the limited frequency range. But ultimately speaking, soundly pumps out this garbage, claiming or professing to have captured Earth curvature. And he's done no such thing. You know, it's replicatable by people like Jose on a railway track. Now, if someone's going to claim that that railway track is actually bending in the way that it appears to be bending, then fine, you can feel free to claim that. Anybody with half a brain knows that's not the case. Railways lay basically flat. You've got very limited gradients. That's why they explode hills, so that they can keep them nice and level. Yeah, they're not exploding hills because trains can go up steep gradients or over bends. That's not what rails are. And everybody knows this intrinsically. Except globeheads, because it matches what Soundly presents. So therefore, Soundly must be presenting Earth Curve, right? Yeah, so this is just a deception by Jose or whatever crap they come up with, and it's nonsense. We all know that this is just a replication of Soundly's effect that he's seeing. Not Earth Curve, just some atmospheric effect that he's managed to replicate. That's it. Simple.
Exactly. The funny comment is, "Oh, Jose, so you caught a curve on the train track. Awesome." I go like, really? bendy train track is just nonsense.
That's what people are saying to you. That you caught a bendy railroad track.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Oh,
I mean,
so sad. What's wrong with you guys?
I had a conversation briefly with Alan B about it, and he was trying to say that I don't see any problem with it, and I'm like, can you not explain the locomotive on the right hand side? What locomotive? And I'm like, look at like 20 seconds in, it's there for like most of the duration of the clip. Why is the locomotive appearing to be floating? And doesn't answer it. He just ignores the question and asks me something back about being childish.
Yeah, and I pinned in the video I put in my channel. Then there's the original video on the train track. When I zoom in and you see the train just stopping there, with the light on. I guess he just took off maybe a few minutes after I left.
The glory of Soundly. He's been buried more times than I don't know what, but for some reason, ballers just still worship him. He's only 16 miles, guys. The amount of curvature he shows. Can you guys not scale? Come on.
I bet if I grab my bicycle on my P900 and go to the train track, which is like maybe 10 minutes from me, and I zoom in with the P900, I'd probably be able to get the same effect. Easy.
Do it at first thing in the morning when there's very little heat.
It's a little hazy over here. I mean, the sun should be out blasting me in my face, but it's nice and calm because it's full of clouds in here, so I'm not gonna get too far of a distance anyway.
Hey, tell you something. It's called Black Friday in England at the minute, and it's supposed to be this day where everybody gets electrical goods cheap. For me, it's just another way of squeezing more money out of you over Christmas. Anyway, normally
same thing here.
Black Friday is normally a day when it's like middle of winter, bleak, dark, cold, miserable, and it's almost back end of summer. It's like I don't remember before.
Yeah, we have that same nonsense over here. Black Friday. where people are actually standing fighting each other for sales. It's right after the day after people are supposed to be giving thanks for everything they have, right? So silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Soundly, I mean,
All right, so we're gonna.
Soundly every once in a while used to send me like messages or private messages on Discord, but I haven't heard of him from yesterday. Maybe he haven't checked any content on YouTube, but I know he's gonna come across this, and I would like him to contact me personally and see what his take on it. Maybe make a little video and explain it to me. Please do it. I'm looking forward for it. Come on, man.
The worst part of this Soundly footage is that anybody who's not really aware of this debate or argument, like some regular person, when they in Google proof that the Earth is curved, that it's Soundly's picture that shows up, and it's like it's kind of annoying because like us, we know about Soundly's picture, we know it's nonsense, but regular people will think that that's curve of the Earth. And it's like, you guys don't even understand. Like, they don't even know who took the picture or whatever. It's just put it in Google, and that's the picture that shows up. And people all believe that that's the curvature. And it's like, what the hell? I don't know, man. It's crazy. So these video and pictures like blow up the same way because it's just like it's just silly. So either way, good shit, Jose.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I didn't know I had this. I mean, I shared a couple of screenshots with the guys yesterday at the after show, flatter debate, and the guys told me like, can you see, what I'm seeing here? I said, yeah, it looks kind of like Soundly Bridge. They say exactly, and then that gave me the idea to put this together, for the world to see.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Do we need to go to the extent of explaining how these effects actually take place then, given that this is being claimed as curvature? You can replicate them, but these are effects that we see taking place while we're explaining things like limited angles and angular size reductions at distance. But these effects still do plague many of the observations that are presented. So this might be the first step in terms of figuring out what the hell's actually going on. Don't get me wrong, I've watched plenty of videos where they're explaining in optical terms what causes mirages out on the plane, like out in the distance in a field or something. I've got a vaguer conception of what's causing this effect. But, I couldn't give anybody a concise explanation if they asked me to, let's put it that way. Like with perspective, I suspect that this is actually refraction. And, they've hijacked what is the real effects of refraction and called it Earth curve, same as they did with perspective. They use a mandatory mathematical version of what they call terrestrial refraction, so it just works out mathematically and is useful whenever they need to move the goalposts. But ultimately speaking, I suspect this is a refractive effect. You can see the heat haze going across the top of the rails. They're like literally rippling along the length of the rail. It's easier to see in this slowed down version. But it's literally rippling. You can almost see I'm going to say heat wave. Who knows what it is? I'm not going to say it is heat, but that's what it warrants describing as. Looks like heat.
Yeah, it could be three things. It could be an atmospheric effect. It could be an optical effect, and it could be a refractive effect, or it could be all three. Who knows what it is? But it's definitely interesting because it does seem to like basically match. It seems to match the same thing, and it's done on like a short distance.
I didn't get as close to what Jose has, but the images that I put up in the Skype chat, you can actually see a pretty stark contrast between the the tracks in the distance, as opposed to the tracks that are closest to me, it actually looks like it not only drops but also shifts to the right.
Can any of you, maybe Arwin or you, Riley, check on my video, the video I put that I titled Soundly Poncho Train Debunked? If you can click that video and share it and click on 1:57, 1 minute 57 into the video, I do the little comparison and I put the bridge and my train track and I like fade it in and out. That is beautiful. It's exactly the same. So if somebody want to share, click the video in 1:57, I would really appreciate it.
What's the title again?
It's,
What's the title?
The video from yesterday that I put, Soundly Poncho Train Debunked by Jose.
Is it the same video that Anthony mirrored?
make sure you go over to Jose's channel
yes.
and
1:57, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it from Riley's mirror video. Same.
I'm just for ease of finding it, that was all. Because I did click on Anthony's earlier, so I can find it in my history quicker, that's all.
Yeah. 1:57, I put a little chart on the two images, my train track and Soundless Bridge, and I faded in and out a couple times. It's perfection. Wait for it.
This is the train, right?
Yeah, that's the train right back there. Yep.
I see curvature. Look at that.
So the train is where this point comes to. Is higher. It looks like the track is higher than the train. Here's the train, right?
Yep.
And the track goes into the middle of the train. Hi, Physics Warrior.
It's coming any second now. You go enjoy that now.
all right, I'm gonna go and do a restart. Give me 2 minutes and I'll be back.
Look at that, glorious.
Just be careful if it's not.
No worries.
That's 99% match.
I love it.
That's incredible.
Did you do this on a phone then?
Yeah, on the phone.
Wow. Pretty cool to be doing like overlays and stuff on a phone.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I overlap. I put the background picture and then I put the second picture in the top and it got the little sliding bar and I can slide it down to fade it out, fade it in. And then I record the whole screen with a different app and then I just crop this little piece, you know.
Ah, okay. Muchas gracias.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate guys for sharing that. It needed to be shown, you know. Many people haven't watched my video and a bunch of stuff. And yeah, we can replicate this effect anywhere if we find the right location, the right spot, we cherry pick the right angle. Oh yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, just cheating basically. Cherry picking, Texas sharpshooter, whatever you want to call it. This little tiny section of videography suits my narrative, so I'll publish that. Call it Earth Curve. Jobs are good. And everyone will worship me as a ball prover.
Yeah, and anybody can do this, even the bowlers themselves. I mean, if you can just take the video footage from anybody for granted and say, oh yeah, I seen the video, this person, he made it, he did it live, he did it many, many times, and he showed the Earth curvature. Go yourself with a camera and find any location on Earth, whatever you want, over water, not over water, and you can catch some crazy effect that you can compare to one another. So if you get a whatever effect you're gonna say you live in a donut Earth, Tortuga Earth, whatever, because you see a shape, not necessarily because you have driven by this section. You know it's straight, you know it's flat, but then you catch a curve, so it's something off going on there.
You've even
Not
got the
really Earth
track on the
curves,
left
it's just
going into like this sort of almost black and white, just like on the pylons. See how it kind of loses its colour?
yes.
I love it.
Cool
Bendy
stuff.
bridge, bendy rail. Love it. Suck it, globeheads. Stunned everyone to
And
silence, Jose.
and yes, I'm sorry. And yes, I will. I'm still. The plan is on. I will be on Train from January 4 to 6. Hopefully, I can meet Soundly over there and we can take footage together. Still, that's the plan.
When you meet him, if you meet him, ask him why he lied continually and continues to lie now about whispering to GeoStreamer. Thanks.
I will. Any moment, I will do that because there's going to be a moment that's going to be just him and me. And I'm going to go like, this is off the record. Nobody's seeing, nobody's listening. I want to know this, like, for real. I want to know where the original hangout is when they're claim it to be. Like, that's all I want to know. If he say there wasn't a whisper, there was nobody talking behind Geo's ear on the private hangout, I want to know where the original hangout is. All of us want to know. Either that or concede that there was a whispering going on.
Yeah, we already know that he was whispering to GeoStreamer. You know, this is proven. We've got a tape recording of him doing it. So it's not like it's easily contestable by him. All they managed to do is create a big distraction about it. Yeah, we're back on to analysing his footage now, which is lovely, good for him. But lest we forget that this guy is a lying, cheating scumbag who continues to this day to lie through his back teeth. So anybody who's in the audience right now, 184 people watching, just go and ask him, why were you whispering to GeoStreamer? And he will just lie to your face. Chatty bunch. I'd have thought Jose's footage would have got you all excited. It certainly got me excited, Jose. I don't care if everyone else is stunned to silence.
So good. I'm quiet now. Everybody, come on, jump in.
I'm just kind of waiting for some type of baller to come in and say that this is actually curvature. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to hear how this is curvature.
Yeah, a few ballers in the chat trying to downplay it. Oh, wowee. So this is exciting. Yeah, absolutely. Replicating bullshit from Soundly. Up until now, it's just been, no, that's obviously an optical effect. Well, there you go. There's the optical effect. Easily replicatable on, let's be honest, a railway line. It's not bending in conformity to the curve of the Earth over the period that, over the distance that Jose's captured. A couple of miles. You're having a laugh, right?
Soundly, you're invited to jump in the panel in the show. If the panel is full, one of us will drop. Please jump in. If you're listening or somebody, just relay the message to him.
Yeah, you're welcome to come and spew your lies. Hey, Rumpus.
Hello.
Right on cue.
Yeah, just look, Mike, like that sound video is excellent proof of the curve. Excellent video, excellent evidence.
Excellent.
Excellent, truly excellent, yes.
Scientific evidence.
Verifiably correct and completely comports with the physics, the maths, and the evidence. All comes together very nicely. Gives you completely compatible with the expected radius of the Earth. Just wonderful.
The model.
So,
Right.
Why is it that if we can get curvature with the camera, then why don't we see massive curvature up in an airplane? That's weird.
A little bit.
Well,
Hi, Zinda.
Yeah, go ahead, Rumpus.
well, you can actually see. When you talk about curvature, what you mean is curvature left to right across the field of view, don't you? That
would be nice too. Yeah,
right. Because obviously you'll see a lot of curvature along the line of sight. So let's not forget there are two different sorts of curvature going on. There's along the line of sight, and you can see that in videos and camera shots, because when you're looking at a camera shot along the line of sight and you zoom in, you're looking along about 20 miles. So the shot of Soundless here is, I think was it 18, 20 miles or so? So you're looking along 18 or 20 miles zoomed up. So that's why you can see the curvature. But of course, across the field of view, that's left to right, he's only got about, I don't know, probably just a few hundred meters. And of course, you're not going to see curvature across that. So that's what you fundamentally don't understand, you flat
So why can we see it here over 2 miles then?
When you take okay, I'll come to that. When you take a picture, you do not expect to see curvature across the field of view, because that's always only going to be a few hundred meters if you zoom in. But you can still keep the 18 miles that you're looking along the line of sight, and that's why you all see curvature more obviously.
Oh, so it's wait. Let me ask. So it doesn't.
I've got 5 seconds. Hold on, I've got 5 seconds more. So you're going to see curvature along the line of sight, but you're not going to see it across the line of sight. Okay, go ahead.
So you're basically, we can only see a hump up and then down. Doesn't just so that's all you get is a hump up.
At low altitudes, correct.
Oh, okay. So you see a hump. You don't really see curvature.
Well, no, it's the curvature of the Earth.
No, you see a hump due to perspective. That's it.
No, perspective does not introduce humps. Perspective is just a limited.
Yeah, it does. The limited angle causes
does not
things
introduce humps.
Yeah, it does. The limited angle causes things to reduce in angular size from the bottom up.
Perspective does not introduce humps in anything.
Yeah, you just keep saying the same thing over and over again, so I'll say my thing again. Yes, it does. As you reduce the viewing angle, you will get to a point where the angle towards the bottom of something is too small to see, therefore it will disappear from bottom up. There is no hump. That's just some bullshit presupposition based on your Earth curve model that you presuppose when you tell everyone that the curve seen on the y-axis is Earth curve. It isn't. If it was, you'd see it on the x-axis curve as well, and we don't. We only ever see this bullshit effect of perspective with a misrepresentation in an orthographic.
Lovely. Diagram then. Yes. Shall I show that Nathan's talking bollocks? Would you like me to do that? Should you actually engage in a debate? I can actually show you where you're going wrong, why you think perspective introduces, God knows, why you think it introduces a hump. Why doesn't it introduce a banana shape, you might as well ask.
Oh, well, that's just nonsensical. I'll say it again. Maybe you'll listen this time. As you reduce the angle to the bottom of anything, that angle reduces so much that eventually it is too small to see anything. In the same way as if something gets further and further away, its angle reduces also to the point where you can't see it. So as you work your way down anything, its angle reduces, causing it to disappear from the bottom up.
I'll show you why you're wrong, Nathan. I'll show you why you're wrong.
Will we get presented an orthographic view at any stage during this demonstration?
You certainly will.
Well, then I'm not interested, you fuckwit.
No, you're a moron if you do. You're just basically denying.
Did you hear what I
No,
just
but
said? Did you hear what I just said, you stupid idiot? Are
No,
you
I
deaf?
didn't. You haven't.
If this contains orthographic representations that haven't got photos of the same exact view, I'm not interested.
Well, you're a moron then.
No, that's how your magic trick works, and I'm taking your trick away, you stupid moron. This is where I undo your religion. You're not going to rumpus me. You put it in orthographic view so you can remove perspective and say that this hump you claim perspective can't create is actually Earth curve.
Perspective is a viewing operation to do with an observer. A drawing showing the observer and the target does
We're not
have
using your
perspective.
drawings. I'll say it for a third time because you're a stupid fuckwit who doesn't listen.
you're a moron.
We're not looking at your orthographic drawings. This on screen now is a photograph. It's got a curve and it's a couple of miles, just like Soundly's. Shitting all over Soundly's claim that it's Earth curve causing this curve. This curve on screen now that is the same as I get rumpused by Alan. This is the same effect we are visualizing, and we do not need an orthographic representation to understand what's happening here. You need to put an orthographic representation up so you can remove the effect of perspective, and when you go back to the actual photography, you'll claim, like in this picture, that it's caused by Earth curve. This curve you said you'd come back to. Now you will rumpus. Is this Earth curve?
Nathan, that curve's easily
name's not
explained.
Rumpus, Alan. Your name's not Rumpus. Nobody addressed you, Alan.
Yeah.
Nobody addressed you, Alan. Is this Earth curve?
Correct.
Hello, fuckwit. Rumpus,
Exactly.
you seem to have gone a bit quiet. Is this Earth curve, fuckwit?
It's 400 yards on uneven ground.
Exactly.
I'm not talking to you, Alan.
Absolutely correct.
Is this Earth curve?
No, it is not.
Why? Well, it's the exact same effect that Soundly gets. So if this isn't Earth curve, why on earth, when giving us an orthographic representation, would you claim that Soundly's is?
Water. This is why you use water, Nathan, because
We
water
don't use
is
anything.
guaranteed to
Why?
be-
What do you mean? We're not using water here. Are you stupid? This isn't over water, you dumbo. Don't need to tell me that I must use water. This isn't using water. Don't tell me what I must do,
Same as
bonehead.
Earth curve. So if you look at a mountain, Nathan, you'll be going, "Oh, look, that's Earth curve, is it?" No, ground wiggles around. So that's why you don't use it. My God, you're an idiot.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I've asked you a simple, straightforward question. Is this Earth curve? You're saying it's not. And I'm saying it's the exact same effect caught by Soundly. Yet you want to take us into an orthographic
It's not on
representation
water,
of
is
the
it,
world.
Nathan?
Shut
It's
up.
not on water.
Shut up. This is an normal, perspective-inclusive view. You want to take us out of this representation and
No, I
draw
don't.
things.
I'm more than happy to deal with perspective views, but you have to understand that those are viewing operations. So if you have a drawing, say, that technical
We're
drawings
not.
are-
We haven't got a drawing. You need to introduce a drawing in an orthographic view to remove these effects so you can call them Earth curve, while simultaneously telling everybody that a flat Earth you'd be able to see everything. There is no hump. Perspective doesn't introduce a hump. Yes, it does. I keep telling you, you're just stupid.
No, you don't. Nathan, when was the last time you did
Introduces
a
an optical
perspective transformation?
slant.
Hold on. Nathan, when was the last time you did any maths or a perspective
I
transformation?
couldn't
Just
give
tell
a
me.
crap. I don't need to do any
You don't.
maths.
You've never done it, have you? So you've no
you didn't listen to
understanding
what my
about what
reply
you're
was.
talking about, have you?
Didn't need to. You've just strawmanned me. When did I last do some maths? I don't need to. I can visually compare this picture on screen to Soundly's picture and say categorically that this, as you agree, is not Earth curve. Just the same optical effect.
Give me the formula for perspective.
You
Nathan.
see,
Give me
another
the fucking
straw
expert
man. So Rumpus completely ignores my point and strawmans me. When did I do maths has no bearing on this picture matching Soundly's nonsense. You assert it's Earth curve, and I've already got you to concede before you've even done anything. You're going to be taking us into an orthographic view to misrepresent the world we live in. We know
Don't
your
misrepresent
magic
the
trick,
world.
Rumpus. It won't
We
work
build
here
buildings
anymore.
using that, Nathan. All of the buildings you live in work on the basis of drawings like that.
Another straw man. We're not building anything. We don't need to draw anything. We are comparing rails over a couple of miles with Soundley's bridge or pylons over about 18 miles, and we have the exact same effect. No maths needed.
Why do you draw us in this architect view?
Because, let me explain, Arwin. Because if you want to determine what someone can see and what they... When you want to determine what someone sees and what a camera will see...
We don't. We just look at the picture, you bonehead. I've said it 4 times. We don't need to draw anything. You need to draw something so you can misrepresent what we say the world is. That's what you need to do. When you need to draw something.
Viewing function
so Arwin,
in a system that's not designed for
okay,
that.
Arwin, if I were to tell you there's a building 100 meters, 200 meters away, how would you go about working out what an observer would see? How would you draw?
We can look at the picture. We don't need to work anything out. I've said it 6 times. We can look at it. We don't need to work anything out. There's no maths required, bonehead.
Arwin, to think.
I can answer it. It's very easy.
Right, okay, let me finish.
You can use a representation of what you're supposed to be looking at.
He's just going to talk non-stop while you try and answer it.
But it doesn't actually demonstrate.
Bye-bye, I'm going to kick you out, Rumpus. You've asked him a question and you won't let him answer. So bye-bye, you're just here to Rumpus and distract. Goodbye. You asked him a question. Next time, shut your mouth and let him answer.
Jesus. Doesn't get it. It's a tool. Yeah, you can use an orthographic view as an assist for the conception of what you're looking at, but it can't be used in viewing function because that's not what it's designed for.
Use it. What is he on about orthopedic? The only time you use this, in my experience, is like a factory to send stuff. Like nobody represents stuff.
Yeah. It's an assist tool.
Hold on a second. Hey, Tommy.
Orthographic view is an assist tool and very handy for design, but it's not supposed to be.
Not really for design. Not if you're trying to convey like a, if you're doing a architectural, like a master plan, we don't use orthographic. Orthographic we use to send, basically to factories. You don't sell a client orthographic views like, this is what it's going to look like, Mr. Investors.
Eric, people are confusing a side view or front elevation with an orthographic view.
No, we're not.
That's what it is.
No, we're not. You remove perspective, Alan. Another Alan silence, it would seem.
I didn't hear you.
You remove perspective. Then,
no, we don't.
Yes, you do.
No, the buildings remain the same.
No, we're not talking about buildings. What are you babbling about? Why are you doing this? We are not talking about building things. We are talking about looking at pictures. That's what we've got on screen. We're not building this railway track. We're looking at it. Do you get the difference, Alan?
You don't understand.
Don't tell me what I don't understand. You remove perspective in the side elevation view.
Alan, when we look at things, we see perspective. When we experience them, sometimes we need to build. Let me finish. Sometimes we need to build things. We need to send them to a factory, to a supplier. At times, we will send orthographic diagrams so that they build it to the proper dimensions. When we look at things, we don't see orthographic.
Orthographic is 3D. You understand that, yes?
Yeah, what I understand, Alan, is that when you use your curve calculator, you use feet and inches for the things you're looking at. Well, feet and inches doesn't account for its angular size. Now, if it did, it would be including perspective, but you use actual sizes because they are maintained in an orthographic representation, Alan. It's not that we don't understand it, it's that you need to lie about your removal of perspective. Shut your mouth. I haven't finished my sentence. I understand this is disturbing for you. It's disturbing that we've figured out your magic trick. Yeah? That's disturbing to a globehead with a religious belief in Earth curvature. Well, unfortunately, Alan, you do remove perspective. If you included it, you wouldn't be measuring things in feet and inches. You'd be measuring them in arcs. You'd be measuring them in degrees.
Angular size.
That would include perspective, Alan. You don't. If you don't understand this, say no, deny it, or obfuscate, and I'll explain it to you again.
You don't understand what
idiot.
you're looking at, or how things are drawn, or how things actually
We're not...
work.
did you not hear what I said to Rumpus about 5 times? We are not drawing anything, bonehead.
Why are you afraid of drawings?
Excuse me, we're not drawing anything, straw man using asshole.
We're seeing and experiencing things. There's 2 different things.
Do you understand, Alan? Are you stupid? We aren't drawing anything. You must draw it to misrepresent our worldview. Because you're cheats and you deceive people with drawings. That is what you do.
Go ahead.
Very useful to figure this out. Okay, a politician, you know, they are a public representative, right?
Sure.
They represent the public's will. Okay, are they the public?
No.
Well, there you go.
But that's not the same.
That's the difference.
It's false equivalency.
No, it's not.
It is.
That's the type of comparison.
Sorry, Alan.
Representation.
Alan,
it's not literally
Alan, let me
that.
just ask Alan a question, Arwin.
It's an
Do
assist.
feet and inches include perspective?
Why would feet and inches need to include perspective?
Do they or don't they? That's not my question. Don't rephrase my question and ask it back to me. If you give a measurement in feet and inches, does it include the angle that you view it at or not?
Why would it?
It wouldn't, Alan. That's our point. And that's the numbers you use when representing what the world should be. You don't... Oh, you're going to talk over me, asshole? Yeah, I understand this is troubling for you, asshole. Yeah, you use feet and inches because they do not account for the angle you view at. That would be perspective, Alan. I'll say it a 4th time for you, personally. You remove perspective.
No.
What do you mean, no? Hand wave dismissal, asshole. Yes, you do. That's why I got you to concede that feet and inches, the things you put into the calculator, don't include the angle, do they, Alan? You complete retard.
In the case of Miles' photograph...
Oh, we're going to move on to Miles. No, we're talking about the begging the question. Perspective hijacking, meaning it's stolen perspective. When you claim it's a hump, it's the perspective that is actually causing it. It is a reduction in viewing angle at the lowest extremity that causes things to disappear from bottom up, not Earth curve when you represent the world with feet and inches that do not include angles. That's why you do it. That's your magic trick. That's why you keep telling us that we don't understand drawings. Shut up! I'm lecturing you, you stupid old git. I'm not asking you for an opinion anymore. I'm telling you. You have hijacked perspective to trick the world into believing they live on a sodding ball. We don't. We have perspective in everything we view. We don't need to draw it side on so you can represent it with whole numbers, feet and inches, and exclude the angles we view at. That's your magic trick to convince the world they're on a ball. The fact that you won't concede it, Alan, makes you a disingenuous shit. That's all it makes you.
No, you're incorrect.
I am not incorrect. Feet and inches, what are fact used in your calculations, do not account for perspective. That is a fact, regardless of this disingenuous shit and his hand wave dismissal of my facts. Is this another Alan silence that we're going to get?
I'm sorry you broke up at the end.
Oh, really? I'll say it again for you, a deaf retard. You have hijacked perspective. The way you have done this is to use whole numbers, feet and inches, as opposed to angles. The things that would give you the actual effects of perspective. They have been removed by use of whole numbers, feet and inches, meters and centimeters, non-inclusive of angles, Alan. I said it very slowly this time. Are you so slow and stupid that you still don't get it? Or are you just a disingenuous religious zealot?
You don't understand how perspective works.
I do understand how perspective works. How would I ever need to require any understanding whatsoever of perspective when it is entirely excluded from your curve calculator, Alan? It does not include perspective. Why would I need to have an understanding when it's removed from your worldview?
So do you believe that things above
Oh, you're going to
either-
ask me a question, shit for brains. Why would I need to understand perspective when it is entirely absent from your curve calculator? And I'll explain why, because I've explained it 4 times and you still haven't conceded it. It uses whole numbers, not
conceding,
angles.
You
Excluding
are wrong.
perspective, Alan, Dumbo, who talks over me before conceding this fact.
You're wrong. You're just plain wrong.
Oh, really? So feet and inches do include perspective, Alan?
You've got this really weird view of perspective. Do you think something... that-
No, Alan, wait, Alan, let me ask you a question.
Okay, Eric.
Have you ever used programs such as Google SketchUp or AutoCAD or anything like that?
Yes.
What's this got to do with my question?
Okay.
Do feet and
Well,
inches...
what do you enter in when you draw something?
Coordinates, sizes.
No, coordinates.
So in the calculator,
Sizes.
we enter coordinates and
What,
sizes
GPS?
in arcs, do we, Alan? In the curve calculator, we use arc measurements, do we?
Why do you think things disappear?
Don't ask me a question, you stupid old man. Do we use arcs in the curve calculator, including perspective, or do we use feet and inches, excluding perspective? Which one is it, you stupid man?
Does the size of the mountain change up?
Are you asking me a question? So you're literally never going to answer anything. This is your last chance. In the begging the question, perspective hijacking, proof of nothing curve calculator, do they use angles to include perspective or feet and inches to exclude it, Alan?
I don't know what they use.
Oh, God.
Then you're not worthy of being here. Goodbye.
Simple question. When you're using AutoCAD, what do you enter in to draw something?
Nathan, do us a favour.
What?
Go to 23 seconds in that clip that you've got on. And for the benefit of everybody in the audience, if you make it big so we can see it. We can see that the rails on the right-hand side are dark in colour, and you can see that they seem to stop. But you can also see almost at the horizon that there appears to be a big, massive locomotive that appears to be floating. So it appears that the rails have not quite got to the horizon and then magically vanished, but we know where the horizon is because we know that the locomotive can't be sat on air. I tried to point this out to Alan, and I tried to ask him for the explanation. And what do you know? He said the same thing to me. You don't understand perspective, and you don't seem to understand anything. And I was like, right, but there's definitely something weird going on there, isn't there, Al? And he won't concede it. So it makes you ask the question, what is he actually doing? Is he being sent in to deliberately obfuscate this point with rumpus? Or are they just so stupid that they just can't see that this is an optical something or other and we don't really know what's going on, but it matches the observation soundly and proves that it's not the curvature of the Earth that's causing it? I mean, anyone can see this. Not hard.
Well, maths doers can't see it, and scientists can't see it. That's why they're socially inept retards in general.
Makes you wonder, when you see these crazy religious fanatics in Far Eastern countries where they strap bombs to the chest and they get pushed in places that they don't really want to go, but they do it in the name of their belief. Makes you wonder whether Alan and Rumpus were actually wearing suicide vests today and being pushed in by somebody. Why would you come in and argue that this in some way is not the same as Soundly's when it's basically identical? Sure, we can't really explain it exactly, but we can tell it's not the curve of the Earth that's causing it. To be a baller.
Well, it literally
It's
is.
glorious. I like it.
Yeah, it is glorious. And the best thing is we don't have to explain it. We just have to say what it's not.
Yeah, I think scientism is far worse than any other traditional religion. It's become ludicrous.
I agree completely.
At least a desert religion worshiper will admit that they have faith and that's all they have. These people just, I don't know, kick and scream to what end? I don't know. Flat Earth declared dead. Okay.
But literally, Alan has to take me in a little dance round and round in circles, while he will not and refuses to concede that he's excluded perspective from his worldview. They have. We know they have. We can prove they have, and it's easy to ascertain that they have simply by pointing out that they're using feet and inches and not arcs. They're not getting the radians of anything. They're getting the whole sizes of something. It will not change a 10-foot wall, sorry, Anthony, a 10-foot wall's 10-foot wall at any distance you look at it. It will always be a 10-foot wall. That's why we do it that way.
It's simple. When us human beings, when we paint or draw a picture, we use perspective. When we're in AutoCAD, when we're in whatever design, we're putting things in millimeters or meters or feet or inches, okay? We're not doing perspective. We're not doing angles. When we're designing something to build, it's so simple. It's right there. It's every day in your face. So get it.
Apparently, it makes me a coward if I can't explain what Earth is. How am I going to explain it when I've not got $55 million a day and weaponry to do whatever I want, whenever I want? The most I've got is like a P900 and a compass. And you expect me to explain what the Earth is? Otherwise, it makes me a coward. I'm not really seeing the connection between coward and ignorance. Embarrassing. You ballers should be ashamed.
I completely agree. And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this live debate. If you hated the show, then smash that dislike button twice. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. Also, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!